Hello and welcome to another battle report for AAA Wargaming. We're doing the sequence, we're going a bit out of sequence for this. So, because I've recently returned from March for Victory at Cardiff, which was a team tournament, and I played a couple of games there, and people were very much trying to push me to get the battles out early. Unfortunately, I've got a bit of a backlog with a friendly and the 3,500 points tournament. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these five first, and then go back and do the friendly and the 3,005 points, because I think all of them have already been on the battle report a few times. And everyone wants to go and see themselves on the YouTube channel, especially if they beat me. So that's why, yeah, I've decided to do these first. It's not for personal glory, I can tell you that. But anyway, so moving on with the team tournament. So this was down at Cardiff Games, and the new Cardiff Firestorm Games, brilliant venue, and big thank you to Ollie Mather for organising this. I imagine, especially the cards he made. I'll have to show a picture of the one I've got somewhere from that. I'll bring that up. If you haven't seen the beat, but they're fantastic, I believe. They were really brought it line. They were provided to each team, so it was just an interpretation of your army, and it was very good fun. But we decided to put the Spiky Club team again, and ironically, it was the same four people from our selection of people. It should be noted, and the Spiky Club is not these four; it's a large majority of the Reading setup. So there's quite a few of us in it. It's just by pure fluke that us four were the ones that were available for this time. Nothing more than that. There's no seeding process, obviously. We're very much in that amateur department. So, because we got the wooden spoon last time, we wanted that to be in our title, and we went for a bit of a theme this year because David's got really good at 3D painting. He gave us the giants. I'll show you a picture at the end. But so with the Spiky Club, the giants of or Spiky Club, the giants of the Order of the Wooden Spoon, or giants from the Order of the Wooden Spoon. So the rule was we had to have at least one giant and try waiting for like two giant or giantesque in our list. So that's a bit of a theme for ours, which was very good because the auxiliary books were added. So yeah, going on, we've got David on Empire Sandstorm, which is basically his Kislev looking army, so big knight bus in there. You got Benway's Warriors of the Dark Gods. I think he had a really killy order and some chosen, otherwise some sloth knights and some other bits and pieces. Anton with Vermin Swarm. It's Vermin Swarm. It's very good. No, he's also Anton and Ben are both very good and David are very good players as well. And then unfortunately they've got to pull me through this, and me with my Silver Elves, and we'll go through my list. So I love my dragon model, so that was start. I wanted to go back to Old Forest Prince. I think they're underpowered, but I wanted to try something different from Oaken Might and get an Obsidian Rock in just because a number of snipes and stuff out there. But also, I felt I didn't really have anything to do with the Scourge, so I went with the Great Weapon and Cleansing Light. Uh, I know I said I wouldn't go Druid as a Master, and I got called up from this, ironically, by both people who were trying to hopefully get their stuff on the battle report. So it's quite funny. I know they're avid watchers, and yes, they are right. I did say I would never take another Druid of Master for a while, but I've got one here. I got talked into it because of various things. I think there's one thing to point out that a Druidism Master casting healing or Fountain of Youth needs a roll of 3, and if you've got Scepter of Power there, it just makes it up. Otherwise, I've gone with Crystal Ball, just get that +2 to dispel. And then the double strength buff with the usual Apprentice, Cosmo with Book of Arcane Mastery and Process Shamanism. I did think that Channel 1 was a bit risky. I still think Channel 1 is too low, and that will come out in the tournament. But I'll do a review afterwards of what I think. I actually think the list I play in the friendly, which I think is actually useful way around running this. I really like my friendly list because it's me. It's not optimal, but it's a bit more what we're seeing as the net list for Silvernails, I think, at the moment, especially in the UK meta, which is Dancers, a bit of Wild Huntsman, but basically nothing big, nothing really over 450 points, double strength, bit of Druid as a master, and then no big characters or anything. Maybe you see a Tree Father, but nothing much. I've then got my BSB Chieftain with double Aether Icon and Hunter's Honor. I think this is also not taking Oaken Might on with Silver Blades on Forest Prince. Allow me to fit Obsidian Rock and an extra Aether Icon in, so just protect the Blade Dancers. Hunter's Honor is just so good, I find, at the moment with double strength buff. you're going to be hitting on fives, and then with Cosmo and Druidism entwining roots and stuff, you could be easily hitting on sixes. And if you can fit the hereditary, in which I did a couple of times, you can be hitting on sixes with the reroll. So there's some real. I'm not sure whether Stone Skin's the optimal choice for this. Maybe it is, but you can with Stone Skin actually roll it, hitting on fives, winning on fives. It's really difficult. I keep saying to my advice to mates who say, "How do I deal with this?" I go, "Do not charge blade dancers. Shoot them, magic them off, avoid them, don't charge them, don't get charged by them unless you don't care about that unit. Because as I'll show in this battle, they pretty much go through everything at the moment with double strength. And got 24 Dryads, which I really like as a unit, especially with double strength buff. They just pump it out. Standard 16 Archer, Banner, Discipline, Musician, and Champion. And that's just to hold all my wizards. 2 units of 5 Heath Riders with Shield and Musician. I think for their points, these are brilliant. They just hold for taking objectives. They're so cheap and mobile. 9 movement, 918. Oh, it's just with a 4+ save, it's brilliant for Silver Elves. I really like them, and they're probably one of my like value for money units. One of my favorites at the moment. I've then got the 13 Blade Dancers with Flaming Standard for any weird ones that come up. A Tree Father because I like the model. The Sylvan Giant with sorry, with Bonebreaker Dancer, because why not have this Dancer? I probably should have taken the shooty one just for just actually for something useful, just to reach out and just have a bit of fun, because I'm not very good with combaty models unless I've done for a while, and I think that would have changed up a bit. And then 2 units of 5 Pathfinders, but I just wanted to have something that really was quite in your face with mobile characters and stuff. So we'll go through. So round one pairings, we were up against the Wales Daffs. So one of the Team Wales lots. So the other half, captained by Ollie Mather with Demon Legions, Roy Stoves with Warriors of Dark Gods. He's jumped across from England. We've got Ryan Amiri with Kingdom of Ekatane, and then Chris Crawford with Ogre cards. So I've previously played Chris with Demon Legions, so that was going to be interesting. I think when we looked at this, I didn't mind playing the demons because I had the Dragon Prince, and I was like, I could probably deal with them. I could probably have a go at the Warriors, though I didn't pick up on the Alchemy bit and the Flaming Standards. Bit of the Torch. Kingdom of Ekatine, I was a bit like, I can probably hold this off. I'm not too bothered against it. And then Ogre Khans, I really didn't want to play the Ogre Khans. That was the one thing I looked at and went, I don't want to play that. It's got double Merc Vets. It's not for me. So yeah, I'll say not a chance. And then the pairings we rolled up. So I got Warriors of the Dark Gods with Rory, so I was very happy with that. When I looked at the list again, I was like, yeah, it's not the green I thought it was. It's definitely a yellow, but um, I think this could be. I think I could have got green out of this if I could have got more points out of this if I really wanted. But yellow, I thought it was going to be interesting. I was just going to hope that the rest of the team carried me through. Anyway, so round one. This was game one. So this is battle report number 38, 39. I need to check that. It might be 39. I might have to do a thing. But it was marching columns, which I really like because I'm quite mobile. I love the whole drop one unit, and you have to do that. I think that's really good. Secondary objective, hold ground. So I was probably going to split the objectives because he's quite mobile anyway. But so am I. So I wouldn't. I think he's got more power, and I don't want him to focus it all in one place. And then Warriors of the Dark, and a map not official. Going on to his army, he's got an Adept on Evocation with Magical Heirloom. So this is a bit. So Essence Mithra and Hero's Heart. I was like, it's probably going in the Barbs, but it could also go in the Warriors quite easily. With the Magical Heirloom, that's quite annoying. That was with Evocation. I thought it was rerolls to hits, rerolls to wound, but Magical Heirloom is the big. I don't want to play that one. Because he's also got Rod of Battle. I thought that would pair quite nicely. Magical Heirloom, just strength 6 hits is just makes my army fall over like dry glass. So that was the one I was worried about that. And then Wizard of Depth with Alchemy, so with Book of Arcane Mastery, so he's going to get 3 spells out of that, and Rod of Battle. So Rod of Battle pairs quite nicely with Evocation, and the Book of Arcane Mastery with Alchemy. So not Skinning Lash, Quicksilver Lash. I'm going to have to stop that, but do I stop that with the Magical Heirloom one or the Hereditary? I was like, Silver Spike, I've got to let through if he's got that or something else. So there were issues with that. He's then got 25 Warriors of Gluttony with standard bears and seal at standard, so they've got spike shield. I will come back to that later. Very good. Did not realise until too late, but it was a very good learning experience, and we'll bring that out when it comes up. 20 barbarians with throwing weapons. Yep, bunker. 5 chosen knights with gluttony again, and wasteland torch. Did not see that when I read the list. Probably should have, because obviously it turns off one of my woods, and yeah, it becomes a ruins, which I don't like. 2 unions of 10 warrior knights with lance and sloth with flaming standard, and that's what makes that alchemy such a killer. Oh, those sloth knights are so good. I do agree with Rory. These Lance means he is killing so much before he goes. I really like that setup over Great Weapon and Sloth. I think the Lance is really good, especially with his magic, because he's going to get that reroll to hit, reroll to wound, or it's very easy for him to get reroll to hit, reroll to wound with Alchemy and Flaming Standards. So I think they are such good units. And then Forsaken ones. I actually didn't mind the Forsaken ones because they've got a low number of attacks. I can deal with that with my monsters, so I was planning get my Tree Father, get my Dragon Prince, go into them. I can take them off, and then 5 players. I was like, just shoot them. So in Magic, I went for the usual double heal. I went for Stone Skin because I was like, he's going to hit me quite hard, and I just thought 5+, he's got to stop, and then I can do some other shenanigans. And he's got quite high weapon skills, so I thought in 20 routes is not going to be as useful. Master of Earth, I went for this because I wanted something that I can start shooting his flares at quite quickly because I've had trouble with them before, and it also means it's something that I can just start plinking away at his big warriors block. Obviously, then took Awaken the Beast, and then Altered Sight and Perception of Strength. Altered Sight because I have to, and it's quite useful to have something, and then Perception of Strength because I was like, I'm going to need it this game. In Warriors, he took Reroll to Hit, Reroll to Wound, and Hereditary, and then his Alchemy, he took Word of Iron, Quicksilver Lash, Rod of Battle, and Silver Spike. Word of Iron was a very good choice. Silver Spike, I've got a lot of monsters, so I think it was a good choice, but it means he's not casting other stuff. And it did change my plan up. I'd looked at this, I thought he was going to choose +1 AP and flaming attacks just to pair with that. But because he chose Silver Spike, I was like, actually, I'm pretty happy with this because I need to get into combat early, so I need to threaten this alchemy thing really, really quickly. And then I nullify. Then he's only got one spell that he can cast with his attribute, and I can just close down Word of Iron. So I need to get that thing in combat. And that was kind of my thought process there, and to minimize it. If he'd had 2 of them, then I'd have been a lot more like, ugh. It also pairs quite nicely with the Warriors. We talked about it afterwards, where because he can make me flammable, let's say my dragon or something, and make his unit flaming attacks. So it just pairs quite well with Word of Iron. So yeah. Plan. So Dancer with double strength, kill pretty much everything. Be very aggressive. That was what I was learning from my last few things. Use monsters to go after infantry and Forsaken ones, and then I wanted to split objectives as much as possible, and then just force him to make some difficult choices with his Sloth Knights, Chosen Knights, and Forsaken. I didn't want all of it coming at once at me. I've played Rory last tournament, as you've seen, and everything came at once at me, and it just overran me. I needed to split it up as much as possible and take it piecemeal. The dancers can't be fighting everything at once, but I know they're in my head, with double strength buff, I was pretty happy that I can kill anything on that board with them, but I can only kill one thing at a time. So I needed to split them up. So that was my plan. Play for a draw objective and just split his army and then take it apart piece by piece. This was the map. Sorry, my phone did something really weird with the camera, with the pictures, because I put it in 0.5, but it does mean I've got really good wide angle views, but it's very difficult to get focused ones. So fingers crossed this works out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to work. Maybe I'll do a photography course. Maybe that's it. Maybe I actually play with the camera and no more. But either way. So right to left, we've got a wall, we've got a water train, we've got a hill, we've got a field, we've got the ruins, we've got the forest, and we've got the ruins. Did I choose? He chose. No, I won the roll off, so I chose first. So I chose this side. Dish. Yes. And the reason I chose this side is I wanted to pick something on my side because the wall was outside of the wall was outside. I was like, well, I want to pick this because then he can't pick that. He could pick the wood, but actually that benefits me. I'm really not bothered by that. And that's how I think. What I wanted to make him think, and he picked the field on the far side, so we had the wood in the field. I didn't mind about the water feature in the middle because I was like, actually, I'm going to be playing here and splitting my army a little bit. But my focus, I realised I've got to defend this one because it's going to be very unlikely I can go and get the other one. Well, I'll just pick a side. I did place my wood here and thinking, right, my plan here was it gives me options to either go into here and start threatening this area and actually make a play for that objective, or use it as a decoy and place everything over here. What it actually meant was Rory turned this into a ruins. I completely forgot about the Wasteland Torch ability to do that until he said it, and I went, oh yes, I should have checked that and thought about it. What I'm very glad is I didn't put the ruins in my deployment though, because it does mean I can just hide behind and run it. So you had sort of double ruins, but it does restrict mostly my movement compared to his. So there we go. We started deploying for first. He put the Chimera down first. I put my Heath Riders because this I thought Heath Rider's perfect for this. I've got to go and get the objective here. He's put his Sloth Knight, one of his Sloth Knights down. I put my other Heath Riders down, and he puts his Chosen Knights down, and then I put my Archers down, and that was pretty much it. And then he puts here. I put my Archers. No, sorry, I put my Blade Dancers down there. So I put my Blade Dancers down here, and I realised, right, I'm because the wood's there. I'm going to want to go that way. Don't want to piss around with this, but also I've sort of decided I'm going to play in this part of the board, and I've kind of signaled that to him, and then he drops. But what it does is it means I've tied up nearly 1,000 points between Sloth Knights and that Forsaken one with 350 points of scoring, which is exactly what I wanted to do in my plan. He's got to go and deal with those two because they can both zoom in at the end. He can't come towards my Blade Dancers. So I've got time on this side. So already I'm like, yeah, this is going okay. He then drops and he puts he's then got his flayers, he's got his chain knights, his flayers, his barbarians with one wizard in, and then he's got his warriors with the alchemy wizards. So he's got the evocation one there, the alchemy one there. And then he's got his other Forsaken one and Sloth Knights here, who are Sloth Knights are going for the objective with the wall. What I did was I put my archers there. I have my giant, my dragon, and my tree father there, and the Dryads and the Pathfinders there. The reason the tree father is here is because I didn't quite think about this. What I should have done was put the Blade Dancers slightly further over. I didn't have enough gap here. What I wanted to do was put my monsters somewhere along this line that's valuable. I was like, I could put my tree father here, but then he just gets fixed by this unit. Didn't need it. I've got the Pathfinders there to plink them and create chaff for the Blade Dance for the Dryads. And I couldn't put this because he wasn't a character over here somewhere. So I was a bit bugger. So I had to put him behind. I didn't want to put him sideways because at this point he's got a distinct advantage on me, so it's likely he's going to be going first. What I really wanted him is if he stumbles forward massively with the Forsaken one, I can double charge him with these two. I didn't also want his warriors also zooming forward because if the warriors zooming forward, I want to be able to threaten him here. So I was quite happy with the threats here. And that was my plan. So what happens though is I go first because somehow I roll a 6 and he rolls like a 1 or something. Like he had to roll a 2+ and he rolled a 1, and then I had to roll a 5 or above and it was a draw, and I rolled a 6 or something. So basically I went first. So this is what happens. So I've got no vanguards. What I do is I move one of my Heath Rider units over to the far left corner because I'm like, okay, cool, you're going to come to me. I've got all the time in the world. I want you to spend all your turns marching over here, and then I split them, and they're going to go there, and you're going to have to spend the other one in all the way over here. I then was quite aggressive with the Blade Dancers in the centre. What I wanted to do was zone here, and I'm out of range of them. I'm out of range of these are getting charged. And that's what I wanted to do first one, and I don't care about anything else. I'm happy. I've moved them further forward, and I'm just bringing everything in range. Master of Earth, my turn. I just want to get rid of them. I've brought the Giant and the Dragon up with the Tree Father there. And this is so I can threaten. I'm either at double 6 or something like that in there. My intent here is working. I'm bringing all my monsters forward. My target is that. Partly because I forgot what Gluttony is. So again, James, read your opponent's list. Otherwise, I brought the Pathfinders up to start plinking at the Sloths and the Dryads up slowly. I want to stay out of range, but I want to this fight is going to have to happen. What my problem is I don't know whether it's going to be. I really don't want my blade dancers and dryads both needing a strength buff, because if that happens at the same time, I'm in trouble because I've got to make choices at that point. So yeah, I'm really uncertain about that. And I still kept him in horde because I thought he's not going to break me first time on ranks, but I'm going to want that. I'm going to want that sheer number of attacks to get through that, possibly one up save and everything else. In Magic, Master of Earth takes off the flayers in one go. I roll like double six for number of hits. I got very lucky there. So it seemed to be going well. I was like, oh, between starting first and taking this off, I am dicing Rory. I'm going to take him. So yes, actually, there is something very funny. When I got to this picture and I realised I screwed up here, I said, sorry guys, I've screwed up a bit. And Ben was like, Ben, you can see in the top right there, he was like, James, we haven't actually started yet. How have you done this? And I was like, well, I don't know, but it's happened. Anyway, so yeah, that was there. And then I got another spell. I got Awaken the Beast in +1 res off on the dragon. And that's because he was slightly further forward. And I just thought if he wanted to come at me, and the reason I do like Awaken the Beast for this. I think with Triple Adept, I think it pairs really well with Chilling Howl for this reason. So it means his Silver Spike's winning on 5s, his Hereditary's moving on 5s, and his Forsaken one's moving on 5s. So if he gets a lucky 666 and hits the dragon, I think I can still do okay. So that's kind of where this is going rather than +1 strength. Cool. Right. I then completely missed Rory's turn in pictures, but what you can see is he's moved up quite aggressively with the knights and other stuff. But he moves up with his knights. He doesn't do anything. On my turn, on my Sylvanel's turn 2, I've charged the dragon into the warriors. I've moved the blade dancers up here. And my intent here is I've blocked his chosen. You can just see there from charging into dragon. So he has to come into the blade dancers in the wood. So it gives me a turn. I've charged both these two into the Forsaken one because I thought I'd need both of them to kill it as quickly as possible. I've moved the archers up there just a bit more, and then I've got the dryads. I didn't think it was unlikely I was kill the Forsaken one in one round because I haven't got any flaming attacks there. So I've moved my blade dance and my dryads up as far as possible to block the sloth knights coming in there, and then I've moved both the pathfinders in behind just so that he can't overrun and charge them there. But more importantly, it's just continue plinking and seeing if I can get some wounds off here, and that's pretty much it. In Magic, because he did some stuff. He put Word of Iron. Yes, he put Word of Iron on the Warriors. No, it wasn't this round. It was next round. But what I have done is I've managed to get Perception of Strength off because I knew my Blade Dancers. I was like, if my Chosen Knights go into the Blade Dancers this turn, I'll just produce a 3+ Aegis and I'll just aim to hold. And hopefully between a rerollable 9, they'll stick, and a 3+ Aegis. And then I'll move the +1 strength bonus onto them and I'll murder the Chosen Knights. This turn, I concentrate on the Dryads. So they're now strength 5, AP 2, which I think is pretty good against anything. The wounding on 4s, and suddenly he's got a 3-up save, not a 2-up save. What happens in combat, which I didn't think. So I put 2 wounds on him with the Tree Father. The Giant did nothing because he's only strength 5 and I'm an idiot. And then sorry. And then Rory rolled a d6 and rolled a 6 +3 and 9 wounds and 9 hits, and it just went through the giant in one go. All 7 wounds, bang. Luckily, the Tree Father passed his panic check. Otherwise, Rory's next turn. Otherwise, this game would have been over. Like my bunker is literally there with all my magic. Forsaken one goes in there. That is game over. Like just completely off. So yeah, it was pretty lucky then. Right, game 2, you can see we carried on. We had a bit of a fluff map over here. So I lost combat here, but I killed the champion because my dragon rolled 1 for Thunderstomps. Basically, because I didn't do the overkill, which I was expecting of the 1 wound +3, so I should have drawn combat between killing his champ, getting the 3 overkill, and charging, so that's 5. He's got 3 ranks and a banner. I should have drawn at the very least 1 or 1. Shouldn't have got Gluttony, but I just didn't figure. So now that unit is strength 5. Ah, that is different. with Spike Shield. Luckily, it didn't do anything to me in this round. So in Warriors of the Dark Gods turn 2, Rory charges. You can see how far he's moved up. So Rory decides not to charge my Chosen, charge side my Blade Dancers. He does move up, but he wants me to. You can see he's moved up on the left there. You can see his hands there. He's moving the Chosen Knights up so we can sit outside the Blade Dancers. He's also charged the Sloth Knights into. Did I kill one? Yeah, I killed a Sloth Knight. I think I killed a Sloth Knight last one with the Pathfinders. Yeah, I did. Boom. Well done, Pathfinders. He's charged into the Dryads on strength 5. He's pretty happy because he's strength 6, so he's winning on 3s, 2s even, sorry. And I've only got 5 pages. But let's see. We're also hitting at the same time, I think. That's interesting. So that's a lot of attacks going back. So he's only agility 5 on the charge by the sounds of it. So I'm pretty happy with that. You can see here he's put. I don't know what. Have I put altered sight? Oh yeah, I managed to get altered sight off, and I put it on the Blade Dancers just to make sure that if he did charge in, they'd be hitting on something. What I should have done maybe was put it on the Knights themselves. His magic, he managed to get Word of Iron off on them, and I was like pretty happy because I was just trying to stop some other stuff. I was like, yeah, have Word of Iron, brilliant. I just don't care about that. What does Word of Iron do? With Spike Shield, you'll see where this is going. And in combat, he killed 5. He only killed 5 Dryads, and I killed 2 Sloth Knights and passed their panic check. So that was a bit thing, but I killed 2 or 3. No, I killed 3 Sloth Knights in the end, I think it was, or something like that. So I was like, yep, actually, keep the strength bonuses on them. This will go well. I then put another couple of wounds on the Forsaken one, and he did book roll to me. This is where I learned that maybe I'd been forced an error with the Spike Shield. Luckily, he only does 1 wound, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 1 wound. And I kill more this time. So I do win this combat, but again, not many. And I'm not chewing through this unit as well as I did. Partly because I've got parry. Spike Shield that wound is caused by Spike Shield, nothing else. And he's got Word of Iron up now, because it's a 1-up save now. I do AP 4, so yeah, it's a 5-up, but then he's rolling 5-ups, and any 5-ups cause a Spike Shield hit now at strength 5 back at me. Ugh. So between Thunderstorm's Dragon attacks and the Lord, that's a lot of potential attacks, and his attacks with Zealot's Paddock coming back. It's a lot of attacks. So yeah, what I should have done, which I didn't do. So yeah, it was not great. His chosen warrior knights have sat in front of my Blade Dancers, and Rory was like, "Yeah, Rory's logic. He actually talked me through it, and he went, I don't think you're going to charge out of the wood. You like Blade Dancers like to stick in the wood, so actually, I'm threatening you here. You're not going to come out." In my head, I'm like, double strength buff. Absolutely, I'm charging you next turn. I'd already decided. I was like, Dryads, you're going to have to hold on for a turn because I cannot let this opportunity slide because the dragon fight is not going the way I want it to. I want to, and I remember, be aggressive. I want to take after these chosen knights, and if I take them off, which is possible, doesn't have to roll much above average, and I'll do them, then I'm in. So, right, and then Silvernail's turn 3. So that's what I do. I charge the Blade Dancers out. As you can see, he's still not done that. I've lost 1 to a DT there, so I've just checked there. But you can see I failed a march check, but still managed to get out of arc. So the Sloth Knights are still there. So, and then as you can see, there's still another unit down here that is Forsaken one still having to go to. So this plan over here is working like a treat. You can see I've put 4 wounds now on the Forsaken one off last turn. So, and he's put 1 wound on me, so I'm probably going to kill this off unless I get very unlucky, and probably survive, hopefully. I've got these 2 units here that I haven't really got anything to do with. I'm just backing them up. They kept failing the march checks, which was only going 5 inches back. I was worried this turn about them failing, and what I should have done was move them into 5 wide. But what my plan was, actually, my thought process was kill as many of the Sloth Knights, except that Dryads are going to die, and then finish them off before they finish scoring with the Pathfinders slowly over like 3 turns, and the Tree Father. So there was logic there, I think. Otherwise, what you can see in the magic phase is I got double strength buff off on the Blade Dancers. So they are strength 6 now. So I was like, Rory, I'm not choosing 3+ ages. I'm going to choose +1 attack and go through you now. So I was pretty much said like you're in trouble here. What happened was, yep, that was my thing. What happened here in this turn is I went after his wizard finally, and I put a couple of wounds on him, but spike shield on the dragon, and no, I didn't do it this turn. What I should have done last turn, this turn, because I had a chance to move across, was move across and go after his wizard, because I then suddenly realised spike shield and I didn't. I took 3 wounds this round, all of them from spike shield, nothing from his attacks. So I'm like this. Luckily, it's a combat draw or I lose, but I've got the VSB there, so it's okay. This attack, this could be the before, during, and after photo. I remember this. Sloth Knights. Admittedly, they're wounding on 4s now, but there's still quite a lot of attacks there. Nothing. Dryads going back. I mean, yes, they're wounding on 5s, but that's still, again, that's 24, 27, 29. It's like 28 attacks there. Hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s. Nothing. worst pillow fight ever. I was like, this doesn't help me either way because I can't shoot at them now. I've still got this unit. I think it was good. So we had a draw because no one really had any rank. In fact, no, he won because he had a standard bearer, and I didn't have any ranks. So yeah, having a couple of ranks would have meant I won. So yeah, that didn't go up. I did kill his Forsaken one, but he, in his final grasp, did 3 more wounds to me. So I was a bit like, I need to prioritize getting at least 1 healing spell off on that. So that's bad because I've only got that. But you can see in there, I killed 3 and did a wound. So I did 10 wounds to him. I think that actually looks like I've got altered sight off and perception strength, and he stopped to weaken the beast. So yeah, so I didn't get everything off, I don't think, but I just went through. That just goes through with 1 strength buff. So that's what Blade Dancers have done with 1 extra attack, and I've lost 1 model because I was distracting and defensive 8 by this point. No, offensive 8 by this point, or something like that. Or I'd minused his, so he was hitting me on 5s. Like it was utterly. Yeah, and I was hitting him on 2s, like pretty much. Yeah, I was hitting him on 2s, so it's utterly barbaric. What I did to him, and I knew that. The only thing is, I had a choice: do I overrun? And I thought he didn't run very far. But the thing is, if I overrun, I then get this in the flank. I'm not stubborn anymore. He would have charge, banner, flank, big flank, and 3 rank. I mean, he's up 7 even before combat res. I'm not like you got banners of mine, and unless I kill 2, I get lucky. I kill 2 because the BSB's there, maybe 3. He's still up by 2, even before he's killed anything. Let's say he kills another 2, I'm down by 4, and I just decided it wasn't worth it. And the other one is the fight with the dragon is not going well. I need to get in with this. So that was my thought process. But yeah, it's gone well. Good turn 3. The Chosen Knights could come back, but they're not going to come back in a hurry. Warriors of Dogs 33. Unfortunately, the Forsaken has finally caught me. And this is the picture afterwards. So he kills them and they run off the board and he turns in. But I did do a wound to him. That was good. In combat, he gets off Word of Iron again. I had to stop something else. Maybe I did stop that. No, I let it go because I was prioritizing other things at this point because what I didn't want was his evocation, his hard magic. I didn't want to stop hereditary, so I let that one go. Or I didn't have a good dispel phase, something along those lines, but it wasn't good. I lose the dragon, which is a shame. I played this one badly. His wizard is still there alive, his alchemy one. I have put a couple of wounds on it because I finally did the sensible thing, but I should have done this 2 ago. And I think I would still have some of those wounds from Spike Shield. I would have killed that wizard. They wouldn't have any alchemy or Word of Iron, so that was bad on me. But the concept of putting the dragon into them, still the right one, I think. The only difference I should have done is I should have moved the giant past the Forsaken one, charged the Tree Father in, and then I'd have had the giant in here as well on a clipping on a corner or something and just eating up more of his stuff. And that's where I should have, that's what I should have done. And then I think this combat would look decidedly different. and a centerwood. He's also put his evocation wizard out. He pumped him in the back there, so that's him. He's not running away. He's just sitting there, and he's brought his barbarians forward to act as a chaff to stop my blade dancers going in next turn if he didn't kill the, well, if he killed the dragon or not. Because he's like, okay, he now knows I'm very comfortable charging my blade dancers out of a wood. I'm not tied to it, and with double strength buff, he's now very worried about it. Unfortunately, he does defeat the Dryads, but luckily they get away, and they probably could run another turn as well before they rally, so that's pretty good. As you can see, I've moved my Pathfinders round by this. Yeah, and that's them. Oh no, so this is my turn. So what I do on my turn is I move them around, but you can see he's got he's got alchemical. Oh yeah, alchemical fire because he's put an attribute on it. In my Silvernail's turn 4, you can see my Dryads fail to rally, but they get the board edge on the bottom there, and it doesn't matter because they've still got time. You can see in his turn he's finally got annoyed with chasing these around and starting to bring the Sloth Knights around, so I've got to be wary of this in the centre, and I've left them there for 2 reasons. One, he's got to deal with me. He can't just turn them around because otherwise I'll just run into the objective. But also there I can become chaff if necessary. So there is that use there. I've moved these guys up here because I want to give a load of shooting into these guys because I don't think he's going to want to run through there. And then this is afterwards, so I smash into the barbarians with my blade dancers. I don't even bother buffing them. I think it's because I didn't get any stuff through. So what I did was I just launched all the stuff on this, like Master of Earth or something like that, to try and take them off. And I knew I wanted to get as much health spells, so he stopped Fountain Youth, and I had to get Summon's Growth off, so there's that. But at the same time, I was like, go on then. If you really want to charge them, you're welcome to. You'll charge them. I'll choose 3+ Aegis. There's no guarantee you're going to kill me. And if you fail, you get a Tree Father in the rear. So it's not great for him. Not a great choice. I failed to do any wounds on his start. In fact, I did. Yeah, this is the first start. He charges there. They went off the board, so that's a shame because they failed to rally. He's over onto there, so he's within 6 of the objective, so he's got that. But I've got 2 more turns to do some significant damage, and I could get lucky and shoot them off. That was my current plan. He brings his Sloth Knights in here, so now I've really got to think about this for the Dryads. Who am I sacrificing here and why? He's turned his Chosen Knights round, and you can see his Forsaken one coming in. I'm not bothered about this Forsaken one. I'm not going to leave them there. I'm not going to let this guy run in and move around or whatever. So they're either moving up that way or moving to chaff here, depending on what I think is the best thing. Importantly, he didn't charge my Blade Dancers with his warriors. Didn't really know what to do. But he has brought the wizard here to tempt my Tree Father. In shooting, in magic, he gets hereditary off. He kills all but one of the first Pathfinder unit. And the reason these 2 dice are here are these are my discipline checks. So first one fails on an 11, buggers off. The second one fails on a 12, buggers off. So my grand plan, the grand strategy of defeating the Chosen Knights on the right is now no longer. And I'm like, that's problematic. I've probably lost this objective now because he's sewn up the other end pretty tight. So we'll go back. He now knows he's won the objective. I've got no way of stopping them. They're threatening in here, and they're not going to be able to get to the objective. So I know I've lost the objective by this point. So, oops. In my turn, I decided, right, I need to get points here. So the biggest one is available is this one. He's got one of his wizards. Well, he's dropped both his wizards out. I charge my Blade Dancers in. I also charge my Tree Father at the first wizard who runs through the ruins, and I failed my leadership to redirect, and I just stumble forward. So that's annoying. I managed to get Perception of Strength up on them, so now I've got Strength 5 Blade Dancers. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go through that unit in one go. Well, 2 goes. Warriors up. So what I've done is I've moved the Heath Riders up there, and I've bailed out my wizards. And the reason I have is I turn. Sorry, it's a poor picture. I turn these sideways to shoot at the Chosen Knights because I don't need that much to try and get half points on them, I needed to get like 2 wounds off on them over 2 turns or something. And I could get lucky with Master of Earth or something. I get 1 wound off, which in the grand scheme of things, it's long range. They're wounding on 5s. It's a 1-up save or something stupid like that. So, like, it's not bad. Like, it could go either way. I could have got that 25% and we'd be happy, but didn't. Or did I? No, I don't think I did. No. Or did I? Yes, maybe I did. Maybe that did happen. But either way, he runs in there, kills quite a few and they run. He doesn't catch me. And now, what I've done in his turn is I've finished off the warriors. I've just murdered them. They're completely gone. So I killed the warriors, and I had a choice about overrunning into the wizards and after them. But noting I've still got the tree father. What I do instead is I reform in 2 because I let we did the archer combat first. And what I noticed was there was a gap here because he was running. I was like, okay, I could hit here or something like that, So I let them go and I charged them off or killed them outright, and the wizards went. You can see where I've bailed my stuff out. You can see he's over here. They're all dead. They've overrun. They've hit the wood. I did a conga line. I charged past in my turn, and I've clicked here. And one of my intent is I'm just going to buff them with strength buffs for the following turn primarily, while choosing 3+ ages because I'm charging, banner, BSB. So I've got 3. He's got a banner and a rank. I'm still up by 1 unless he kills someone, and then I could kill one of him as well. So I think this is good. You can also see in his turn 5, he pretty much nullified any opportunity for me to go by moving them sideways to cover this area because I was sitting here and he's moved this Forsaken up here. So you got this big threat range. So he's sewn up the objective. And that's why points were more important. So Tree Father chased both his wizards off there. That's good. Got them and the general points. And this was the Hail Mary, and this was the janky thing I did. So I've charged them in. I think it was either drawn combat or win, but either way, it doesn't run. I rally my archers. I've got both strength, but I've managed to get both strength buffs through, which is great. So now I've got for his turn strength 6 blade dancers. Come on, who are, because they're in the wood, because I reformed and brought more into combat, re-rolling 1s to wound. Ha 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 ha. Don't care how slothy you are. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s, so straight away I think I did 3+ ages that time and I went +1 attack. I killed loads. I broke his steadfast. He didn't do that much back to me. He ran away. I think it's the last one. He ran away. I failed to catch them. So I get half points for them. So that's still 300 and something points, which is great. So jankiness did me okay. So that's the final game. So yeah, no, it's pretty good. And then on score, and he got an 8-12. So I lost less than him. So actually I was 11-9 up on points, which is really good because I got the sorcerer, the other sorcerer with general points, his warriors, his barbarians, half for the 10 warrior knights, a forsaken one. So I didn't get the chosen knights, so that was it. We worked out I needed 1 more hit health point from those archers. So if I'd caused 2 wounds instead of 1, I would have I'd have got them down to below 25%. That would kill the final one, so that would have been different. So I think that would have been extra point because they're worth about 600-700, something stupid in there. So I'd have got an extra point out of that. So I think it would have been 11-9 the end result, but it could have also made the objective. Actually, no, we could have just passed the Forsaken one there. So I don't think it would have changed the objective, but I think it would have made this an 11-9 and that's it. But otherwise it was, yeah. And then he killed, I think I should have played better with the Giant. That was probably my biggest mistake. And the Forest Prince. So sorry Dragon, sorry Giant. But other than that, I was pretty happy with the rest of the way I played. Oh yeah, 2,332. Sorry. Point out, I have put it on there. But because Rory won the objective, he got the 12-8. Now, interestingly, this is a team tournament, so it all matters. About turn 4, Ollie came over to speak to Rory, and he seemed a bit flustered, if I was honest. I was a bit like, okay, he must be hot and just trying to organise a tournament. He just went, Rory, are you winning? Now, at that point, we're like, it's a bit 50-50. He could win. He's possibly going to win the objective, but actually, there's points here. We're going to get. We thought it was more chance that he was winning, but it wasn't going to be a big win. And he just went good because he was the only one, and then walked off. And Roy and I looked at each other, and we were quite far away at this, quite far ahead of the game at this point. We were doing like we were turn three, and I was like, look, he wanted to go for a smoke. I was like, do you want me to? I'll go and get us a drink. I couldn't get a drink for him because the coffee machine decided to fail at that moment. But yeah, we had a chat around and walked around. And it seemed to be doing okay for us. So the results. So lessons from my play was I thought my objective play was sound, splitting them, and that was good. Very good use of Heath Riders. That plan worked brilliantly, tying up his Sloth Knights until they got eaten by the Blade Dancers and Forsaken Ones, and using the Dryades to protect my other one. Good use of Blade Dancers aggressively. They are just amazing, and my advice is don't ever charge them unless you know something I don't, which obviously is not that difficult. But yeah, play it in your favour. You've got to have a plan of how you're going to mitigate all that magic and stuff at the moment. That double strength, that 3+ Adrius, the reroll leadership 9. How are you going to beat that? If you can do it, great. If you can't, think you might have to rethink your method, or at least feed them points that you don't care about. I'm now aware of Spike Shield and Gluttony combo with Word of Iron. Don't let it happen, effectively, because if I hadn't let that 2+2, um, well, he'd have either been saving on 6 up, at which point, yeah, it would have been Spike Shield, or nothing. So, kind of like, ugh, that was stupid of me. But I should have been aware of that. In terms of round one results, we capped them. Look at it. Look at those results. I mean, ignore the aim from me, but like, look at Antoine, Ben, and David. They've smashed it. We got 58. We capped Team Wales. Who knew? So we felt that it was very unlikely we were going to pick up the wooden spoon again this year, or we were hoping so. So we're like, oh, that's brilliant. I think unfortunately we got a bit excited and had a drink for lunch, which in hindsight was not clever. Not for me. No. Yeah, no, we're pretty happy. So I think we were second up there, and we went on to play the Lions. So really happy with that. It was a lovely game with Rory, as usually is. Um, Absolutely top sportsman. I learned loads. He was picking out loads of points with the Warriors. So I especially like Spike Shield Gluttony, that combo. We had a bit of chat about the Sloth Knights, and I was like, do you find anything weird about it? And to be honest, I don't. We talked about the Forsaken ones over like Wretched ones. I really like Forsaken ones. I think they are awesome. That's just that strength 6, 5 up fortitude, and that random move is just really hard for some units to deal with, and he's got everything for everything else. So I think it's a really really good list, and I hope he has a really good ETC. Um, all right, hobby corner. So that's my picture. I might see if I can get a better one later. This was quickly taken before I went, but in short, I'm very happy with everything but the big cloak. The cloak was rushed. I had family over. I was just sprinting out, so I'm going to try and do some sort of faded picture effect going up. But otherwise, I'm very happy with the skin. I like the color, how I made it come out, and the tattoos. So I'm just going to play with that when I've had a thought about how to do it and what to do. So yeah, that's it. Otherwise, thank you for watching. It's a bit longer this video because I had to go through my army list and some other bits, so it should be a bit shorter next time. Otherwise, thank you very much and have a good weekend.